All right, we'll be getting started in about a minute and a half. To make sure everything's working. Hey, Javier, Goatman. Welcome. Player with the highest score. Hey, Retro Frog, welcome back. The most recent person to enter the Hall of Champions. We'll be getting started shortly. Glad to have you back. All right, I think it's about time we get started. Oops, technical difficulty. Another technical difficulty. Sorry about that. Big ouch. All right, let's go ahead and kick it off with Guess That Balloon. The first person to correct the guess what I'm making within 2 guesses will get a point on the scoreboard. And here we go with another live game night where I host and keep score. You play by commenting. First person to correct the guess what I am making will get a point on the scoreboard. It is not a snake. That squeak is awful. First person to correctly guess what I made will get a point on the scoreboard. It is a sword. Retro Frog, you said it first. Welcome to the scoreboard, and as a returning champion, you are entered onto the scoreboard as red. All right, we're going to move right on to justifiable thoughts. And this is where I give you guys a category, and your answer must start with the letter that I provide you. It can be a word or it can be a sentence, but it must start with the letter. What is something you could put on a snowman starting with the letter S? A snazzy suit. You could put a snazzy suit on a snowman. MDLX, we are trying to keep it family friendly. I'm going to remove your comment, but you're still welcome to play. Yes, Retro, I'm going to give it to you. You could put a snazzy suit on. All right, moving on to another round. First person to give me an answer, starting with the random letter that I choose, we'll get a point on the scoreboard. What is something that could get you fired from work? Starting with an L. late, leaving on the job, lazy. M&H, welcome back. Laser's good. All right, I'm going to give it to late to Javier because, yes, being late would. M&H, welcome back. Welcome back. Javier, welcome to the scoreboard. Welcome to the scoreboard, Javier. As a former champion, you are entered in as red. Everybody else competing for the championship is entered in as black. Little experience. Grub Army, I agree. I would have given you the point for lasers, but you have to be the first person. You have to be the first person to give it to me. I accept the first answer. We're going to move on to Guess That Sport. The first person to correctly guess the sport in the comments will get a point on the scoreboard. Yes, I give it to the first answer. Some games do give multiple points out, so then I'll take multiple answers. And welcome to the live game show where I host and keep score. You play by commenting. All right. Hey, Logan and Grub. Welcome back, M&H, former champion. We're going to move on to Guess That Sport. First person to correctly guess the sport will get a point on the scoreboard. This is played on a table with a small ball, a couple paddles, and a net. It can be played 1 versus 1 or 2 versus 2. Table tennis is correct. I would have accepted ping pong as well. Now, I'm just going to let you guys know that we like to keep it fair, fun, and family friendly. I'm just going to show you guys we use my chat to break ties. We use my chat to break ties. So I'm going to show you guys my chat. Hey, Ethan, welcome back. Table tennis and ping pong are correct. I'm just going to show you since we have a lot of new players in right now. Retro Frog on my screen was the first person to say table tennis, followed by Logan was a close second. Alexander close third. So, Retro, you're going to get the point there. Retro, you're at 3 points. Hey, Texas Tornado, TT. We got a lot of new players. We're going to keep it fair, fun, and friendly. Moving on to another round of Guess That Sport. The first person, yes, Retro Frog was the most recent introduction to the Hall of Champions. Actually, we're going to move on to a fan favorite. We're going to play Blurt. Blurt is where up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. Blurt is where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. These are the Webster Dictionary definitions. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. Whoever subscribed is fireworks for you. You can either answer the first one, you can answer the second one, you can answer both. You're allowed 1 guess per comment, as many comments as you would like for all of the games. Continuing on to Blurt, the first definition, a thick substance used to stick things together. The second definition, a bell, buzzer, or other signal sounded to warn people of danger or to wake them up. Glue would be correct. That's a point for Retro Frog. Alarm is correct. Let me see who the first person on my screen to say it was. Retro Frog again. Moving on to another round of Blurt, where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. The first definition, this is a 2-hour stream, just so you guys know, and the winner will be announced at 1 hour and 55 minutes in. The first definition, an area of land that is surrounded by water. The second definition, the 3rd month of the year. You're allowed as many guesses as you would like. 1 guess per comment. Island is correct. That is a point for Retro Frog. March is correct. That is a point for Logan. Luke. Retro Frog, you're getting your point there. Logan, I have to add you to the scoreboard. Logan, welcome to the scoreboard. You're currently in the lead for entering all the champions with 1 point. However, that is not officially determined until the stream is over, 1 hour and 55 minutes in. I do have to make sure I spell your name right. And Logan, it looks like this is your first time here and your first time earning a point on this game show, which means congratulations. I will be adding your name to the Hall of Fame, where once you enter, you never leave. The Hall of Fame is filled with Currently, you are the 160th person in the Hall of Fame. You are the 160th person to ever earn a point on this game show. And we have 42 people who have won. You didn't hear the second. Sorry, M&H. And whoever subbed, this firework is for you. We're going to move on to another round of Blurt, where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. The first definition: a hollow piece of metal that is shaped like a cup and makes a ringing sound. The second definition: a young bear, wolf, or lion. You're welcome. It is not a pipe. It is a bell. That is a point for Retro Frog. I'm glad you guys are having fun so far. It is a cub. Whoever subbed, this firework is for you. First person on my screen to say cub would be Javier. Oh, someone else. Thanks for the sub. This firework's for you. All right, moving on to another round of Blurt. Blurt is where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. And we have a lot of people in the chat right now, so I'm going to go ahead and pop out the chat for a second so you guys can see that the chat, it'll show differently on your screen and my screen. And so to keep it fair, we have to have some way to break ties. So I will show you guys my chat for a little bit. Moving on to Blurt, this is where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. The first definition: a covering for the head made of real or artificial hair. The second definition: a chopping or cutting tool that has a head with a sharp blade fixed on a long handle. Wig is correct. First person on my screen to say wig would be Retro Frog. And axe is correct. First person on my screen to say axe would be Javier. Yes, if many people send it very close to the same time in real life, it'll show all of you on your screens that the order's different, so we use my screen to break the ties. We're going to move on to another round of Blurt, where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. I'm glad you guys are liking this. The first definition: a building made of glass in which plants are grown. The second definition: a hinged flat plate mounted at the rear of a ship or aircraft for steering. Face Trip, did your friend mean Caillou? Greenhouse is correct. Let me make sure that Javier was the first person to say greenhouse. Rudder is correct. Hey, Random Gamer. Random Gamer, I think I've seen you before, although that's a semi-common name. Give me 1 second. Nope, looks like you're new, Random Gamer. Oh, sorry, that was a balloon that popped. Random Gamer, welcome to the scoreboard. This marker's trash. Gotta get another one. Random Gamer, it looks like this is your very first time earning a point on this game show, which means congratulations. I will be adding your name to the Hall of Fame, where once you enter, you never leave. You are the 161st person to enter the Hall of Fame. All right, continuing on. Oh, I have a little bit of a technical difficulty. Give me 1 second. Sorry about that. All right, we're going to play another round of Blurt. Also, now it looks like Random Gamer and Logan are tied, both with 1 point for entering the Hall of Champions, which will be determined 1 hour and 55 minutes into the show. We got a lot of new players right here. I wouldn't have gotten Rudder either, Josh. Josh, welcome. Tree, welcome. Random Gamer, welcome. We got a lot of new players. The 3 main concepts of this game show are we want to keep it fun, we want to keep it fair, and we want to keep it friendly. All right, moving on to another round of Blurt, where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. The first definition, the dwelling place of gods and the angels. The second definition, a round disc or knob sewn onto clothing as a fastener or as an ornament. Heaven is correct. Looks like Retro Frog, you got it first. Josh, you were a close second on my screen. Button is correct. That is a point for Retro. We'll get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. You're allowed as many guesses as you would like, but only one guess per comment. As many comments as you would like. The first definition, a man who owns a house or apartments that he rents to others. The second definition, a puppet or doll moved by strings from above. Landlord would be correct. That is a point for Javier. Marionette is correct. That is a point for Retro Frog. That was a fast round. Moving on to another round of... Actually, we're going to move on to Family Feud. We're going to move on to Family Feud. Many points can be handed out during Family Feud. Yeah, Josh, sometimes I do try to stream 6 days a week, multiple times a day. And sometimes... Sometimes if you refresh your stream, or if you're on mobile data and you go to Wi-Fi, or if, some people have better luck on a laptop or just a newer device, so it's worth refreshing your stream. And then sometimes people's internet connection is just bad and they just have to come back on another stream. Those are the suggestions I've heard work from people. All right. We're going to play a round of Family Feud. That's okay. Welcome back. We're going to play a round of Family Feud. Up to 5 points can be handed out to the players. What I'm going to do is I'm going to give you guys... I'm going to have you guys name something. You're allowed as many guesses as you would want. One guess per comment, as long as your comment closely matches one of the answers, one of the 5 answers, you'll get a point. Many points can be given out. When I put done in the chat and when you hear the X, I'm not accepting any more answers. So we're going to move on to Family Feud. Name a subject on which people are always giving unwanted advice. Go ahead and start. I'll repeat it. Name a subject on which people are always giving unwanted advice. It's more of a subject in life versus a subject in school. Would be a hint for the answers. And there's no need to repeat your answer as well. If you say it once, you can just say a different answer to try to get multiple points. All right. I'm going to say done right there. I'm not going to accept any more answers. And I only accept the first person who said one of the answers on here, but up to 5 answers. So, yeah, if you're the first person to say it and it's on here, you get the point. So, math is not on here. Love life is on here. Love is close enough to love life. I'll give the point to you, Retro Frog. MNH said date. I already gave it out too. Love life. Marriage. It's not on here. History's not on here. Welcome, Jasmine. Math. Nope. Monday work. Not on here. Having kids. Raising kids is on here. MNH, I'm going to go ahead and give it to you. Oh, MNH, welcome to the scoreboard. And as a returning champion, you're going to be entered in as red. Diet, weight/health is on here, so I'll give the point to you, Javier. That was close enough. Money, Josh the Great. Money is on here. Oh, I'm going to add you, Josh the Great. Welcome to the scoreboard. I have to make sure I spell your name right. Josh the Great, it looks like this is your very first time earning a point on this live game show, which means congratulations. After the stream, I'll be adding your name to the Hall of Fame, where once you enter, you never leave. You are the 162nd person to earn a point on this game show. So your number in the Hall of Fame is 162, and I think there was only one answer left, and it was not said above when I said done. Oh, wait a minute. Meal plan is on here, and the answer was cooking. That's close enough. Ethan, I'm going to give it to you. Ethan, welcome back. Welcome to the scoreboard. We currently have 4 people. 4 people are tied now with 1 point to enter the Hall of Champions, but that is not decided until 1 hour and 55 minutes into the stream. We do take a 5-minute halftime break halfway through. You meant money, not Monday. Oh, that's rough. Fireworks, are you in the Hall of Fame? You should be, Fireworks. Yes, you are number 137. All right, we're going to move on to Blurt. Blurt is where, and welcome back, Fireworks. Blurt is where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. The first definition, a small bag that is sewn into or onto clothing to hold things. The second definition, to smile and make sounds that express happiness, amusement, or scorn. Pocket is correct. That is a point for Retro Frog. Josh, you were a close second. Retro Frog was the previous champion of the last stream. Laugh is correct. That is a point for Josh the Great. I will warn you guys now. We play. Oh, those points are too close. I have to make sure that I can keep track of them. So I got to separate them a little bit. Josh, you're currently in the lead now with 2 points for entering the Hall of Champions, but it's not determined until it's over. So, don't get too comfortable. We do play multiple different games, different card games and such on this game show, and different games have different levels of leniency. Ethan, I'm so sorry. I sometimes forget after I write somebody's name on the board to give them a point, and sometimes when I go to give them their second point, I'll see I didn't give them the first one, and I always catch that up. My apologies. Thank you for pointing that out. I do make mistakes. Moving on to another round of Blurt, where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. Thank you, M&H. The first definition, money or something else valuable that is offered or given to make a person do something dishonest. The second definition, a large, brightly colored handkerchief often worn around the neck. Hey, Baronator, welcome back. It is not a gift, it is a bribe. That's a point for Retro Frog. Baronator, welcome back. How are you hitchhiking right now? How's that going? I'll repeat the second definition. A large... Yeah, nobody got it yet. A large, brightly colored handkerchief often worn around the neck. Good, Baronator, good. A large, brightly colored handkerchief, often worn around the neck. Some people will fold them up and wear them around their head. It's funny, I'm staring at one behind the camera. Some people will fold them in a certain way around their head to help with sweat. Some people will wear them here. It kind of looks like a rough triangle. Bandana is correct. Baronator, you should be I would consider blogging it. All right, first person on my screen who said, or vlogging your trip, I would watch. M&H, it looks like you were the first person to say bandana, but this round's been going for a minute, so I'm going to go back and double check. Perfect. M&H, you got it. That was a good one. Moving on to another round of Blurt. Baronator, that's funny. That's hilarious. Moving on to another round of Blurt, where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. The first definition, a baseball player whose position is between second and third base. The second definition, a fully grown male human being. Shortstop is correct. That is a point for Baronator. Baronator, welcome to the scoreboard and welcome back. Wow, this marker does not work. Gotta get rid of that. Man is correct. I'll see who got that in a second after I add Baronator, who is a former champion, so entered in as red. Who was the first person on my screen to say man? That would be Retro Frog. Alright, continuing on to another round of Blurt, where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. The first definition, a tissue in the body that can be tightened or relaxed to make body parts move. The second definition, to feed on growing grass. Muscle is correct. That is a point for Retro Frog. Hey, James M. Welcome back, a former champion. Graze is correct. That is a point for Javier. Retro Frog, you're going for the high score. The high score is currently at 82 points, held by Javier Goatman. Baronator, that is hilarious. Baronator, that is hilarious. I've never been picked up by anyone I know. That's funny. Moving on to another round of Blurt. Yeah, Josh, I'm glad I'm hosting these because I would not get many points on Blurt. Oh, some of these are really tricky. Also, just so you guys know how Blurt works, there is a blue card and the back is red. Blue has 2 easier definitions. Red has 2 harder, and I always alternate. I'll read the blue, then the red, go to another card. And if you guys ever like any of the games shown on here, there's links in the description. It's a way you can help support the channel. I get a small commission at no extra cost to you. It's a way to help support it. But there's no pressure on that. As long as you guys are here and having fun, that is what is most important to me. So we're going to move on to another round of Blurt where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. The first definition, the red liquid that the heart pumps through the body. The second definition, the decision made by a jury at the end of a trial. Blood is correct. That is a point for Retro Frog. Tree, you were a close second. You were a close second on my screen. Verdict is correct. That is a point for Javier. You're at 8. Moving on to another round of Blurt where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. The first definition, a person or group that handles business for another. The second definition, someone who makes or repairs shoes. Cobbler is correct. I'll repeat the first one. Plastic Fantastic, former champion, welcome back. A person or group that handles business for another. Who said Cobbler first? That'd be Javier. Plastic, you're a close second. I'll give a hint. If you're an author, you need one of these. Not quite a publisher. This is a middleman between an author and a publisher, though. At least in the U.S. I don't know what it would be called in another country, if it would be called different. Agent is correct. A person or group that handles business for another. That is a point for Plastic Fantastic. Plastic Fantastic, welcome to the scoreboard. Welcome back. As a returning champion, you are entered into the scoreboard as red. Thank you, Barinator. All right, we're going to switch up the game a little bit. Oh, this is a fun one. I haven't played it in a couple days, and I know people love this one. It's called Tribond. How Tribond works is I give you guys 3 things, and the first person to tell me what these 3 things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. Tree, stick around long enough, and you will get on that scoreboard. It's taken some people several streams to get on for the first time. Also with internet, if you have a lot of people on the internet, it could just be a little tricky. So, I'm going to give you guys an example of Tribond. If I were to give you 3 things like plum, rice, tapioca, the thing they have in common would be pudding. Alright, so we're going to play a real round of Tribond. Tribond is where I give you guys 3 things. The first person to tell me what these 3 things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. Oh, Barinator, I feel that when I'm hitchhiking. First person to tell me what C-3PO, number 5, and the Terminator have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. C-3PO, number 5, the Terminator. They are robots. Robots was the correct answer. And you guys might have multiple right answers, but it's got to be on this card for it to count. That's the point for Javier. That's 10. Moving on to another round of Tribond, where I give you guys 3 things. The first person to tell me what these 3 things have in common, I'll get a point on the scoreboard. Whoever subscribed, this firework is for you. First person to tell me what ballet, glass, and bedroom have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. Ballet, glass, bedroom. This is a tricky one. Whoever subbed, this fireworks for you. It's not dance. It is not dance. Ah, shoes. There we go. It says slippers, but I'm lenient on a lot of the games. Different levels of lenience. I'll accept shoes. All right, who's the first person to say shoes? That would be Plastic Fantastic. That is correct. That is a point for... I'm going to go back and make sure. Perfect. Plastic Fantastic, where are you? You're at 2 points. You got to make sure those points are not next to each other. Moving on to another round of Tribond. The first person to tell me what these 3 things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. A leech, a mosquito, a vampire, bloodsucker is correct. Oh, Barinator, that is a scary, scary thought. Retro got bloodsucker. I hope they were just messing around. Man, I would take a note of what color that car was and avoid it. I would actually, if I heard that and I was hitchhiking, I would actually probably... I would recommend moving to a different spot, maybe. I know that's not always an option. Just stay safe, Barinator. Moving on to another round of Tribond. The first person to tell me what these 3 things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. Also, yeah, Barinator, you should text somebody all the details about that car, just in case. I would just text somebody the make, model, and color if you remember, just in case. They were probably joking and messing with you, but just in case, I would still recommend doing that. I've done that a few times hitchhiking. Moving on to Tribond, the first person to tell me what citric, boric, and hydrochloric have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. Citric, boric, hydrochloric. Acid is correct. That is a point for Retroflog. Good, Barinator. Good. Retro Frog. Oh, you're at the top. We're over here. All right. Moving on. Hey, Paki Rahu. Welcome back, Paki Rahu. All right, Barinator. Good luck. Better hear from you again. Moving on to another round of Tribon. The first person to tell me what these three things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. We have Cowpuncher, Wrangler, Buckaroo. Cowpuncher, Wrangler, Buckaroo. They are terms for cowboy. That is correct. That is a point for Retro Frog. Retro Frog, you're at 20 points. Moving on to another round. Moving on to another round. Moving on to another round of Tribon. The first person to tell me what these three things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. Card, picnic, coffee. Card, picnic, coffee. Table is correct. Javier, you said table first. You are almost a quarter way there, Retro, but we are over a quarter way done. So it's still possible. Moving on to another round of Tribon. The first person to tell me what these three things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. Nurse, great white, whale. Nurse, great white, whale. Shark would be correct. That is a point for Retro Frog. We're gonna move on to Battleship. Hey, Mike Tones, welcome back. Iron Mike, the regulars like to call him. Retro Frog, good luck beating it now. You have some of the heaviest hitters in here for high scores, and that would be Mike Tones and Javier. So, on a slight break. Might not be around for long. We have somebody challenging that high score. Guys, we're going to move on to Battleship. Battleship is, do not start guessing yet. Battleship is where you guys have to guess where I hid my battleships. If you are the first person to hit that part of the ship, you get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 30 points can be handed out to the players. My battleships are hidden on a 10 by 10 grid. The columns are numbered from left to right, 1 through 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Excuse me, the letters are lettered from, the rows are lettered from top to bottom, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. You must pair a letter with a number. For example, you could say A1 or J10. All right, go ahead and begin. Dovid, welcome back, a former champion. Witty, competing against Retro is like going against a computer. You guys will allow as many guesses as you want. Give me a letter with a number. Example, you could say A1, A10, J1, J10, B7. Number must be between 1 and 10. Letter must be between A and J. 1 letter per comment. As many comments as you would like until I say done. What happened to my sign for Battleship? I should actually, it's somewhere around here. I've got a lot of things going on, and so I kind of moved it temporarily. Whoa, that was a lot of answers I'll let slide by. All right, we're going to say done. You hear the and that means I'm accepting no more answers. And I only accept the answers above when I said done in the chat. We have to have some way to cut it off. So, yeah, I'm going to go back up. I'm going to read. You must be the first person who hit that part of the ship to get the point. All right, let's begin. All right, we have B7, miss. Mike, I agree. Get Brawny in here. A5, miss. C5. We have our first hit of Battleship. That is a point for Retro Frog. You're at 22. We have A1. Hit. That is a point for Tree. Give me a second, guys. I have to add Tree to the scoreboard. Tree, welcome to the scoreboard. And Tree, it looks like this is your first time earning a point on this game show, which means congratulations. I will be adding your name to the Hall of Fame, where once you enter, you do not leave. You are the 163rd person to enter the Hall of Fame. Continuing on, CJ is invalid. Must pair a letter with a number. B5, miss. D4, hit. And I do mark it, so it takes me a second to mark it. That is a point for Plastic. Fantastic. Continuing on, we have D6, miss. I7, hit. That is a point for James M. James, welcome to the scoreboard. Welcome back, James M. As a former champion, James will be entered onto the scoreboard as red. Moving on, we have I8. Hit. That is a point for M and H. One person is entered into the Hall of Champions every single stream. Whoever's red is a former champion. Whoever's black is competing. Carrying on, we have J5. Hit. That is a point for Mike Tones. Gotta add Mike to the scoreboard. Mike, welcome to the scoreboard as a former champion. Mike is entered in as red. We have a lot of competitors this game. We have a lot of competitors. Which is good. Sometimes we get three columns going. Moving on, we have C6, miss. A8, miss. A10, miss. C4, hit. That is a point for Javier. D5, miss. J5, hit, but it was already a hit. I only give it to the first person to hit it. J9, miss. B6, miss. C4, hit, but it was already a hit. G4, hit. That is a point for Mike Tones. C5, hit, but it was already a hit. B3, miss. D6, miss. D5, miss. G7, miss. F2, miss. A4, miss. E5, miss. E7, miss. G8, miss. C7, miss. D7, miss. B4, miss. F6, hit. That's a point for M and H. Alright, continuing on. E2, miss. F6, hit, but it was already a hit. B10, miss. J5, hit, but it was already a hit. E5, miss. F5, miss. A5, miss. A7, miss. C4, hit, but it was already a hit. G5, miss. J5, hit, but it was already a hit. H1, miss. J6, miss. B7, miss. A9, miss. G4, hit, but it was already a hit. C10, miss. H5, miss. D5, miss. J8, miss. I5, miss. J2, hit. That is another point for Retro Frog. D4, hit, but it was already a hit. F5, miss. I said F5. E5. Oh, I'm sorry, it was a miss. My apologies, I made the mistake. E5 was a miss. H10, hit. That is a point for M and H. And I do try to remember to show the board. Sometimes I forget at the end of the stream. H10 was a hit by M and H. Just so you guys know, this board resets between streams, but it's going to be the same board throughout one stream. B5, miss. J5, hit, but it was already a hit. C4, hit, but it was already a hit. E4, hit. There's a point for Mike Tones. Wow, I accepted a lot of answers back, and I usually do a lot less answers to make it go faster. Sorry, guys, if you're waiting. Mike, you got the point. You're at 3. A10, miss, and I read until I read done in the chat. D4, hit, but it was already a hit. B3, miss. C9, miss. B8, miss. E10, miss. K is not in here. It only goes up to J. A1, hit, but it was already a hit. A7, miss. B4, miss. F6, hit, but it was already a hit. B5, miss. H4, miss. D7, miss. B6, miss. J1, hit. That is a point for Javier. D6, miss. I10, hit. That is a point for M&H. J10, hit and sunk. There's nothing extra rewarded for a sink. I just let you guys know. That's a point for Javier. B2, miss. A9, miss. B6, miss. B8, miss. F10, miss. Last one, H7, miss. Wow, I think that's the most answers I've ever accepted from one battleship. I usually accept about 30 or 40 combined, or somewhere around there, and then stop it. All right. Catch up with the comments for a quick second. That's many points handed out. There's still 13 unclaimed points. We might play one more round of Battleship before the end of the stream. We'll see. Sometimes we do, sometimes we don't. Oh, Mike, next time I'll pull up the chat for that. I'm sorry. Joseph, welcome back. Welcome back, Joseph. Joseph was number 40 on the Hall of Champions. Luke Duke has not been back in a while. All right, we're going to continue on. I know, sorry, Ethan. I normally don't accept that many answers for Battleship. I just got distracted replying to somebody in the comments, and then I forgot to put done in. So, yeah, that was a lot. All right, we're going to move back to Tribond. Tribond is where I give you guys 3 things. The first person to tell me what these 3 things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. Yeah, Retro, it's a lot. But it's fun. All right, first person to tell me what these 3 things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. We have Heat, Fuzz, Cops. Heat, Fuzz, Cops. Law. Mike, I'll give it to you. They are terms for police officers. Mike, I feel honored that you're on vacation, chilling on the stream, excuse my words. Been a little sick on and off the last few days. Moving on to another round of Tribond. The first person to tell me what these 3 things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. Red Delicious, Granny Smith, Macintosh. What do these 3 things have in common? Apple is correct. They are types of apples. First person on my screen to say it would be Retro. They went into the ice cream shop. So are you just chilling, waiting for them to get ice cream? You just playing? That's awesome. I would be doing this. I don't eat a lot of ice cream, so I'd be doing the same thing. Or I'd be eating ice cream and playing. Moving on to another round of Tribond. The first person to tell me what these 3 things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. We have a tennis tournament, a beauty pageant, a trial. A tennis tournament, a beauty pageant, a trial. Judge is correct. That is a point for Javier. You were missing a letter, but I'm lenient on typos. All right, one more round of Tribon. We're going to switch it up a little bit. The first person to tell me what these three things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. A boxer, a catcher, a surgeon. A boxer, a catcher, a surgeon. Glove would be correct. They wear gloves. That is a point for plastic. Fantastic. You're at 4. All right, moving on. We're going to play Justifiable Thoughts. This is where I have you guys name something of a random category. Your answer can be a word or a sentence, but it must start with the random letter that I choose. The letter is different every round. This one's your fave? Perfect. I'm glad you guys like this. Name a horrible gift to give somebody at a baby shower that starts with the letter A. A horrible gift to give somebody at a baby shower that starts with the letter A. I'm going to accept the first person with a justifiable answer that's starting with the letter A. All right, Mike, have a good one. An armadillo. Retro Frog, I'm going to accept an armadillo because that is a horrible. Could you imagine having to take care of a baby and an armadillo? All right. Retro, I'm going to give you the point. I'm going to give you the point, Retro. Guys, this tends to be a very goofy game. So your answers can be as goofy as you'd like or as serious as you'd like. It's called Justifiable Thoughts. So as long as when I run into the first justifiable answer, we will give them the point. All right. Name something you might find in a basement starting with the letter B. Josh, I'm glad you like it. This is my favorite game we play on here. Something you would find in a basement starting with the letter B. All right, Retro, I'll give you the point for box, but I'm going to read some of the answers because this game cracks me up. Tree said a bat. Oh, my, I'm not. You mean a baseball bat? You mean a flying bat? I'm sure I would hate to see a flying bat in my basement. Bag, shovels. Bones, M&H. I'm never going into your basement. If you guys ever eat M&H in person, you need to go the other way if M&H have bones in her basement. Bats are friendly, but M&H is not. All right, moving on to another round. Name something you cannot buy at Walmart, starting with the letter A. You cannot buy an aardvark at Walmart. I will give that to you, Retro Frog. Yeah, you cannot buy an airplane at Walmart. That is... Yeah, you can buy... Yeah, plastic, you can buy alcohol. Hey, Brawny, welcome back. I haven't seen you in a while. And Josh, depending on the answers you're talking about, you can buy different types of acids at Walmart. Never know they sell... Do they really sell caskets, James? Wow. And remember, guys, the three key things for this game show is we want to have fun, we want to keep it fair, we want to be family friendly. We have people of all ages, all across the world. I'm from the United States, but only a third of you guys are from the United States. Everybody else is all over the world. All right, guys, we are 55 minutes into the stream. The champion is announced 1 hour and 55 minutes into the stream. 1 hour from now. So this is the time where we're going to take the halftime break. How the halftime break works is I go at the start of the gong. I start a 5-minute timer and I take a 5-minute break in the middle of every single stream. And at the sound of the air horn, the 5-minute break is over. And I do keep a stopwatch with me to respect everybody's times, because some people come here competing for the titleship of champion, and I want to respect everybody's time, so I do stick to a schedule on these streams. I will be back in 5 minutes. I will be back in 5 minutes. The break does start now. This is the official halftime break of the show for everybody new. Hey, it's Shannon. I host the games and keep score while you play them by commenting. If you would like to support the channel and enter the Hall of Supporters, my Cash App is Shannon1742. My PayPal and Venmo are mindfuldiscovery@yahoo.com. These should be pinned in the comments. If you are interested in any of the games played on this show or the props used, I have affiliate links in the description. I earn a commission for each product bought at no extra cost to you. Another way you can show support is by purchasing my book, Beyond Solitaire, 52 Unique One-Player Games. This is a book on learning the rules for 52 solitaire-type card games with various levels of difficulties, chance, and skill. I wrote detailed instructions for new and experienced players to be able to learn these games, along with setup pictures for examples. Beyond Solitaire, 52 Unique One-Player Games is available on Amazon as a paperback book and on the Kindle store. It is also enrolled in the Kindle Unlimited program. We have a minute left in the break. Who will enter the Hall of Champions tonight? The three key principles for this game show. We want to be fair, we want to have fun, and we want to be friendly. I personally want to thank this community and everyone in the Hall of Fame for helping develop this positive game show experience. All right, we have a few seconds left in the break. There are so many players. A couple people subbed. There's a firework for one of you who subbed. And here's a firework for the other person who subbed. Everyone type slow. I had to start bringing a phone out there with me so I can keep up with the comments. M&H, it's cool that you brought your son here. We also have another mother-daughter team. Well, not team, but they come and they compete. We have, hey, Dollar, welcome back. Mindful Discoveries' original name was Dollar. Christina, welcome back. We have a lot of couples who come. Joseph was competing with his wife. Hey, Christina, welcome back. Joseph was competing with his wife. That was such a crazy one. They both had around 30 points, right down to the last question. They were tied back and forth. That was such an intense game the other night. That was such an intense game. We've had quite a few people go down to the last second and enter into the Hall of Champions. Tree, you're competing with your mom. Awesome. Tree, which one's... All right, who is Tree's mom? That is awesome. I love that people come in here, and this is why I like to keep it a family-friendly environment. Family-friendly, fun, fair, and friendly. This is what I'm going for, because I like that people will invite their friends. People will invite their parents, their children. People will invite their siblings. We have a couple brothers who come in here and compete. It's a 10 versus 1 for me, Ethan. That's funny. Josh playing with your ghost. That is funny. No, Dollar, we have an hour left. We have an hour. Well, we have about 52 minutes until a champion is announced. We're going to go ahead and continue on. All right. Oh, M&H, do you have multiple of your kids? Do you have multiple kids in here? That's funny. You're bringing the whole family, huh? That's awesome. That's awesome. I've had some of my family and friends come in and compete as well, and it's pretty fun. Ethan, it doesn't matter if you're competing or not with or without somebody. It's first comment gets it. First comment gets it. We're going to continue on. All right, we are going to continue with Justifiable Thoughts. This is where I have you guys name something starting with a random letter. The first person to have a justifiable answer will get a point on the scoreboard. The letter changes every single round. It is a random letter. So, where is the worst place to be that doesn't have a bathroom, starting with the letter R? All right, road. Tree, you were a close second with road trip, but Retro Frog said road first, and I would agree. Being on the road is a horrible place to have a bathroom. What do we have? Alexander, you said woods, but it must start with an R. You did say roads. Restaurant. Oh, James, I don't know if I've ever been to a restaurant with that bathroom. That'd be rough. A river. Doesn't make sense. Depends on which one you got to go. Hey, Barinator, welcome back. Retro Frog's internet is very good. Retro Frog's internet is very good, I will admit. Yeah, Baronator, I am aware. Good luck. Oh, James, that's fair. All right, moving on to another round of justifiable thoughts. The first person to name something starting with a certain letter. We'll get a point on the scoreboard. What is something a pirate might steal from you? Starting with the letter P. Pearl. Oh, Ethan, you want me to say the letter first? All right, Retro, I'll give it to you for Pearl. Ethan, it might be easier on my end. Ethan, I think it'll be easier on my end because I have to watch all the chats if I actually say the letter after. Yeah, I'm gonna have to keep the letter after to make it easier on my end because a lot of the times I'm coming up with the question. I'm actually coming up with all the questions on the spot, and so in case I reword the question, excuse me, in case I reword the question, it's important that I don't really officially start the round yet. So sorry about that. It's a very good suggestion though. Name a Halloween costume starting with the letter C. A cop. Ooh, Tree, you were a close second with the cop. Javier, you're going to get it. A car. Ethan, I've never seen anybody dressed up as a car, but thinking of movies like the Transformers, I could see it. A cow. I've definitely seen people dressed up as cows and cats. Oh, man, I probably shouldn't use cream soda to help my scratchy throat, but that's okay. Guys, I will be streaming tomorrow and Monday, at least 3 times tomorrow and at least 3 times Monday. I love cream soda. I don't drink caffeine, or at least I try not to. Name a way you can make a friend starting with the letter F. Now remember, your sentence or your word must start with the letter F. A funny joke. Retro, that's a great way to make a friend. Family, yep. I've definitely made some friends. Fight. Ethan, that's a weird way to make a friend. Retro, I'll give it to you for a funny joke. Oh, I forgot. I usually read the scores before, after the break. Enemies to friends. I've seen it happen. It's not the best. I do not recommend that be how you start a friendship. I think funny joke is a great way to start a friendship. I'm going to go ahead and read the scores. We have about 47 minutes left before the champion is announced. Amongst the former champions, Retro Frog, you have 30. Javier, you have 16. M&H, you have 6. Baronator, you have 1, and you're still alive. Glad to see. Plastic Fantastic has 4. James M has 1. Mike Tones has 4. Amongst everyone else competing to enter the Hall of Champions, which will be announced in a little less than 50 minutes. Tree, you have 1. Ethan Clo, you have 1. Logan, you have 1. Random Gamer, you have 1. Josh the Great, you have 2. Josh, you are in the lead with 2 points for entering the Hall of Champions. We just have the former champions dominating right now. Oh my God. But Josh, you are in the lead. Tree, you're only 1 point behind. Ethan, you're only 1 point behind, guys. Guys, this is, believe it or not, this is a really close game. This is a really close game. This is great. Christina, glad to see you made it back. Trying to make it in. Josh, you're in the lead by double the points. Until somebody else gets 1, then you're tied. What's a way you could say I'm sorry without using words starting with the letter N? Nod. Josh the Great, no, I don't think. Tree, I'm going to give it to you for nod because you could say I'm sorry with a nod. Uh-oh, Tree, that is a point for you. Uh-oh, Josh. Tree, you guys are tied in first place for entering the Hall of Champions. Josh, you just said no. All right. Continuing on. Name something that's very difficult to do when there's a lot of snow outside, starting with the letter O. Tree, I do stream multiple times a day, many days of the week. Josh, orangutan does not make sense. Operate vehicles. James, I'm going to give the point to you. Orangutan. You just said orangutan. Oxygen. Josh. Orangutan. James, you get the point. And I will agree. That's actually one of the biggest reasons I don't like living in the Midwest where I live, because there's so much snow. Orangutan. You definitely do not get a point for orangutan. That is funny. Oh my god. All right. Moving on. Yeah, Tree, well, you can come back another time. If you can't stay for the whole stream, come back another time and try to fight for the championship. I should have at least three streams tomorrow and at least 3 streams Monday. Moving on to another round of justifiable thoughts. Name the worst place to take somebody on a honeymoon, starting with the letter D. The desert. Emanates with the DMV. Oh my god. Tree daycare is a good answer too. Josh, the desert is rough. My god, we have some good ones there. Yeah, the desert's rough, but if you haven't spent a lot of the time in the desert, the deserts can also be very, very nice. Like, they're just hot. If you just bring a lot of water, they can be. I just went camping in the desert a few months ago, and they can actually be very, very beautiful. I don't know if it would be it's definitely, I don't think it's the best place, but it's not the worst place. I love to be in the desert. So I'm going to give it to M&H for the DMV. If you take somebody on a date or on a honeymoon to the DMV, that is going to be a short relationship. Also, that's true. Thank you, Javier. Vegas is in the desert, and that is a great place. I got married in Vegas. M&H, you're going to get the point for DMV. You might just have the absolute best answer there. Oh, yeah, M&H, you also said Las Vegas is in the desert. What about the dump? Well, Ethan, it went desert, DMV, dump. And desert was justifiably good. So it did not work. DMV definitely worked. If you were second, I would have given you the point for dump. That would have also been a really, really bad one. I don't know what's worse, taking somebody to a landfill dump place or the DMV. I don't know which one's worse. Probably the DMV, to be honest. Name something you can find on a farm, starting with the letter F. All right, what we got? James, I agree. Then you would be dumped. All right, retro with food. Tree, you were a close second with food. There are fish on farms. If you have like a pond or a lake, there are fish on farms, and fish are typically farmed as well. Like a lot of at least in the United States, I don't know how it is for in other countries, but a lot of rivers are restocked from farms that their entire farm is just like barrels of water. Well, not barrels; they're very big drums. For just breeding fish. Also, I forgot. Oh, I don't think he's here. Never mind. I'll save the comment for another time. United Kingdom, this is not a political place. This is a place where we play games. I host them and keep score. You play by commenting. Doesn't matter to me. As long as you are here, fair, fun, and friendly towards everyone else, you are welcome to stay and play games. Name something you can put cheese on top of that starts with the letter H. I'm going to give the point to Retro Frog for ham. Josh, you said humans second, and I would have given you a point for that if you were first, because you can put cheese on humans. I did not say and eat it. Retro Frog, you get the point. You technically can put cheese on humans. Oh, Javier, cheese on hornets? Man, if they weren't already mad before. Oh, wow. That's a rough one. Name something you would not want to eat soup out of, starting with the letter T. I think they would sting as well. M&H said toilet. I would agree. I would not want to eat soup out of the toilet. Oh, out of the trash or off of a table. No. Name something edible that you can cover with chocolate, starting with the letter D. A donut. Retro Frog, you'll get the point for donut. Retro Frog, you're at 33. Josh, dandruff. I said something edible. I mean, you could eat dandruff, but I don't think you should eat dandruff. Ethan, keep it appropriate. I'm removing your comment. Ethan, please keep it appropriate. It's also technically not edible. Name an animal you would not want as a pet, starting with the letter N. Retro Frog, you're doing good. A narwhal. I would agree. That would. I don't know where I would keep a narwhal. The bathtub? Oh, gnats would be a weird pet. Welcome back, David. Good to see you're still here. A ninja as a pet? That would be the coolest pet I would ever have in my life. But that would be a human, and you can't have pets as humans, which is good. But if a ninja was like a mythical creature and I could have that as a pet, I would. Javier, you're getting the point for narwhal. Like if leprechauns were also ninjas, that would be really cool. Name an animal you would see at the zoo starting with the letter L. A lion. Point for Retro Frog. Plastic Fantastic, you're a close second. All right. We are going to play Battleship. Do not start guessing yet. Do not start guessing yet. You guys cannot start guessing until you hear the ding, ding, ding. Larry. Is a Larry a nickname for an animal or a friend you don't like anymore? Moving on to Battleship. Do not start guessing until you hear the ding, ding, ding. I'm not accepting guesses before the ding, ding, ding or after when I said done. No, a couple Larrys. How Battleship works is I have a 10 by 10 grid, and the grid is, the rows are lettered from top to bottom, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, J. The columns are numbered from left to right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. You must pair a letter with a number. So, for example, you could say A1 or J10, and you are guessing where I hid my battleships. The first person to hit that part of the battleship will get a point on the scoreboard. You will have as many guesses as you want. One guess per comment. Go ahead and begin. Yes, David, we can play Blurt next. We can play Blurt next. Hey, John, welcome back. We're going to stop it right there. I'm only accepting the answers above when I said done. We are stopping it right there. All right. We, as requested, we will play Blurt next. All right, here we go. Set up. H1, miss. H2, miss. H3, miss. A2, miss. H4, miss. J3, hit. That is a point for Javier. I8, hit, but it was already a hit. J5, hit, but it was already a hit. H5, miss. B9, miss. H6, miss. H7, miss. H8, miss. B1, hit and sunk. Nothing extra reward for sinking it, I just let you know. There's a point for Tree. Tree, you're currently in the lead now for entering the Hall of Champions at 3 points. Continuing on, but it's not over till it's over. We have about 30 minutes, 32 minutes till it's decided. J1 hit, but it was already a hit. H9 miss. A3 miss. H10 hit, but it was already a hit. C4 hit, but it was already a hit. J2 hit, but it was already a hit. I1 miss. C1 hit. That is another point for Tree. Tree, you're at 4 points. J8, miss. F5, miss. 12? 12 would be invalid, Javier. A3, miss. G1, hit. That is a point for Retro. G2, hit. That is another point for Retro. C9, miss. J7, miss. D3, miss. A8, miss. 63, John, you must pair a letter with a number, but welcome back. G3, hit and sunk. That is a point for Retro. D4. Hit, but it was already a hit. I2. Miss. G4. Hit, but it was already a hit. G5. Miss. I3. Miss. G6. Miss. A4. Miss. G7. Miss. C7. Miss. Last one. F5. Miss. All others are below when I said done. Nick, you did not change your name. And that is an inappropriate name, dude. All right, that is the last round of Battleship. I do try to show the board if I remember and only if we're not going to play it again. I realized there was enough points for us to play it again, but it kind of, there's a lot of people. I try not to play if there's too many people. All right, we're going to continue on. We're going to continue on. Remember, fair, fun, family-friendly environment. You make somebody uncomfortable, you're not allowed here. I mean, we all make mistakes. I'm fine with that. I'm a lenient person. I make a lot myself, too. But some mistakes are not really mistakes. So, continuing on. Dovid, I believe, requested Blurt. So, we're going to play Blurt. Blurt is a fan favorite. Blurt is where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. The first definition, a small, furry animal with sharp claws, whiskers at each side of the mouth, and usually a long tail. The second definition, small white pieces of dead skin that fall from the scalp. Cat would be correct. That is a point for tree. Tree, you're at 5 points. Dandruff is correct. That is a point for retro. Moving on to another round. Of Blurt where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. The first definition, a game in which players act out a word or phrase for the other players to guess at. The second definition, a hollow place in a surface usually caused by a blow or pressure. Charades is correct. That is a point for Retro Frog. It is not crater. It is not cave. I will repeat it. The second definition repeated, a hollow place in a surface, usually caused by a blow or pressure. So think about if you were to punch a car, or if I were to hit this hard enough, what would that leave? Not a hole, a dent. You would leave a dent. That is a point for Retro, with Tree a close second, but I'm going to go back a little bit, make sure nobody said it. Okay. Retro, that is another point for you. Moving on to another round of Blurt, where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. The first definition, a young cat. The second definition, a long, narrow ditch. Kitten would be correct. That is a point for Retro Frog. The second trench is correct. That is a point for Javier. Moving on to another round of Blurt, where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. The first definition, water in the stage of a gas. The second definition, a private road leading from a house or other building to the street. Steam is correct. That is a point for plastic. You are at 5 points. Driveway is correct. There's a point, another point for plastic. Fantastic. Moving on to another round of Blurt, where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. The first definition: to hit the hands together quickly and loudly. The second definition: a loose shirt usually worn by women or girls. Clap would be correct. That is a point for retro. Blouse is correct. That is another point for retro. Moving on to another round of Blurt, where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed up to the players. The first definition: to become aware of by using the nose. The second definition: the part of a flowering plant that contains the seeds and is often sweet and used as food. M&H got smell first. Fruit is correct. That is a point for James. And these are dictionary definitions. These are the Webster dictionary definitions. And I have a lot of requests to expand Blurt. And so I bought a dictionary 6 hours into reading it. I have a stopwatch so I keep track because I think it's kind of fun. I've put in about 6.5 hours so far into reading it. I'm only 200 pages in. There's almost 1,600 pages. Because you guys like Blurt so much and keep requesting me to expand it. So I have been doing that for you guys. It'll take a while though because they're all currently in my document in alphabetical order. And I don't want hints with it being in alphabetical order. So I'm going to wait till I finish it. And once I finish it, then you guys will see a larger array of dictionary definition words. So moving on to another round of Blurt, where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. The first definition: a soft cloth or other material that is folded and fastened around a baby to serve as underpants. The second definition: a sketch or drawing that shows people or events in a way that is funny. Hey, Baronator, pass out. It's good for you. Javier, that's a point for you. I hope you got a tent or something to keep dry and warm. Cartoon is correct. Another point for Javier. Moving on to another round of Blurt, where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. The first definition: the skin or rind of certain fruits, such as an orange or banana. The second definition: a watery liquid produced in the mouth by certain glands that helps keep the mouth wet and starts digestion. Peel would be correct. David, I think when you said pill, you meant to say peel. Saliva is correct. I think you had a typo for peel. I'm not 100% sure. It was a typo. That's what I thought. I could see how that you could do a typo from peel to pill, especially with autocorrect. So, David, I'm going to give you the point for that. David, welcome to the scoreboard. And as a former champion, you are entered in as red. Wow, you are playing a risky game doing speech to text. All right, who was the first person on my screen to say saliva? That looks like it was Retro. Retro, you're at 45 points. We have 20 minutes left till the winner is announced. Amongst everybody competing to enter the champion tree, you have 5. Ethan 1. Josh the Great 2. Random Gamer is not here anymore, but that's okay. 1. And Logan 1, who's also not here, but that is okay. Points are not wiped off this board till the stream is over. Retro does definitely have the most points on this stream. However, I enter one person into the Hall of Champions every single stream, and that is somebody who's not already in the Hall of Champions. So when you see these red names, they have won a previous stream. When you see black names, that's everybody else competing. Moving on to another round of Blurt, where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. The first definition: something that covers and hides the face. The second definition: an animal that is related to the horse but smaller and with longer ears. Mask is correct. And donkey is correct. Yes, Plastic Fantastic you are, and we have a lot of people. Hey, Pocky Rahu, welcome back. Retro, you got the point for mask. First person on my screen to say donkey was Pocky Rahu. Pocky Rahu, welcome back, and welcome to the scoreboard, Pocky Rahu. All right, moving on to another round of Blurt. Blurt is where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. The first definition: a very light gaseous chemical element used to fill balloons and blimps. The second definition: a small lizard that can change its color quickly in order to blend in with its surroundings. Helium is correct. That is a point for Josh the Great. Josh, you're at 13. Chameleon is correct. That is a point for Pocky Rahu. Pocky, you've come back so many times, Pocky. When are you going to stay long enough to get into the Hall of Champions? Pocky, I've seen you so many times. And you do good when you stay. You gotta check my community post. See, when I in the mornings I usually post my schedule for the day, and then I stick to the schedule so you guys can know ahead of time. Plan if you'd like to come and compete for a championship. Some people will carve out time in their day just to be able to compete. Have the whole 2 hours. Moving on to another round of Blurt, where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on this scoreboard. I agree, David. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. The first definition: an animal with a long neck and 1 or 2 humps. The second definition: an instrument or machine for weighing. Camel is correct. That is a point for Retro. Scale is correct. There's another point for Retro. Moving on to another round of Blurt, where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. The first definition: someone whose job it is to clean and take care of a building. The second definition: a female sheep. Janitor would be correct. That is a point for Josh the Great. Josh, you're catching up to Tree. Josh, you're at 4. Tree, you're at 5. Ethan, 1. And Pocky Rahu, 2. It's not a ram and it's not a lamb. I hope one of you get it, because I don't know how to pronounce it. A female sheep. Yes, what James said. Ewe? Ooey? I have no clue. But James said it. It's pronounced you? E-W-E is pronounced you? Ooh, you? You? That's pronounced you? I didn't write English. Wow. Thank you. I learned something. I would have never been able to pronounce that without looking it up or somebody telling me. I would have looked like a fool for 100 guesses in a row. Thank you, guys. All right, James, you're getting the point there. You're at 4. You, just like the word you. Wow, thank you. Love learning. Show is called Mindful Discovery. Well, at least the channel is. Moving on to another round of Blurt, where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. The first definition, a long rope with a sliding noose at one end used for catching animals such as horses and cattle. The second definition, someone who cuts and sells meat. Lasso is correct. Josh, I'll give it to you. I know you had a typo, but that's okay. Josh and Tree, you're both tied. You're both tied. All right. Butcher is correct. Javier, you're getting the point for Butcher. Moving on to another round of Blurt, where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. The first definition, a device that uses atoms or molecules to make a very strong beam of light. The second definition, an animal hunted by another animal for food. Laser is correct. That is a point for Javier. James, you were a close second. Prey is correct. I got to scroll back a little bit and see. Nope, that's Pocky Rahu. M&H, you were a close second. Pocky, you're at 3 points. Oh, we might have 3 people soon competing and tied. Retro Predator is the one chasing them. Moving on to another round of Blurt, where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. The first definition, a short test. The second definition, the raised platform in a theater on which people perform. Quiz would be correct. That is a point for Pocky Rahu. Javier, you were a close second. Josh, a close third. Pocky Rahu, you're at 4 points. Stage is correct. That is a point for Javier. We have a little less than 12 minutes left. Josh, you're at 5. Tree, you're at 5. Pocky Rahu, you're at 4. This is getting intense. Moving on to another round of Blurt, where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. It is a close one. The first definition, to take someone else's child and by law make that child one's own. The second definition, a ball game that is played on a field with a stick having a net on the end to catch, carry, and throw the ball. Adopt is correct. That is a point for Josh the Great. Josh, you're currently in the lead for entering the Hall of Champions, but it's not over till it's over. Lacrosse is correct. Uh-oh, Josh, that's a point for you. In the lead by 2 points now. But it's not over till it's over. Moving on to another round of Blurt, where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. The first definition, a round turning platform with seats shaped like horses and other animals on which people ride. The second definition, a white liquid produced by glands of female mammals for feeding their young. It is not a carousel. This is actually a hyphenated word, and it's 3 words. Milk is correct for the second one. That's a point for M&H. Merry-go-round is correct. That is a point for Javier Dovid. That was a close second. Moving on to another round of Blurt where I read the dictionary definition for 2 words. Sure, Tree. The first person to tell me the correct word for either definition will get a point on the scoreboard. Up to 2 points can be handed out to the players. The first definition, a row of connected rings or loops, usually made of metal. The second definition, a man's stiff felt hat with a rounded top and a narrow curved brim. That one sounds tricky. Chain is correct. That is a point for M&H. Yeah, I wanted to switch it up too soon. It's not sombrero. A man's stiff felt hat with a rounded top and a narrow curved brim. I actually don't know if anyone's going to get this. I'm going to put 10 seconds on the clock. When I put done in the chat, I do not accept any answers after when I say done. Actually, in fact, it looks like everyone's stumped. All right, it was a derby, apparently. Derby. All right, we're going to move on to justifiable thoughts. This is where I'm going to have you guys name something starting with a certain letter. Your sentence or your answer must start with this letter. Whether it is a word or a sentence, it must start with this letter. The first justifiable one that makes sense will work. Tell me how you can lose weight starting with the letter L. Tell me how you can lose weight starting with the letter L. Dovid said laps. Point for you, Dovid. You guys all had some good ones. I'll lose worth. Josh, you need to be happier. Lose worth, lose weight. Oh my God. That's a rough method. Depression's not a good method for not a healthy method for losing weight. Typos got tricky. All right, moving on to another round of justifiable thoughts. Name an excuse a kid might use for not turning in their homework, starting with the letter R. A raccoon. I used to have a pet raccoon, and man, it could definitely destroy things, so I will give that to you, Javier. Or at least my family had the raccoon. Rain, ruined, rain. Yep, this is rotten. Oof, rotten homework. You could easily get mold on it from food or something. I'm going to play a few more rounds. Name something you would hate to find on your bed that starts with the letter M. It's true, Javier. Mice. Oh, that's a point for Paki Rahu. Paki, you're at 5. Oh, mildew would suck. You know, I wouldn't hate money on my bed, but I would maybe hate a bunch of coins. That would not be fun. Name a country that starts with the letter A. Paki, that's a point for you. Paki, you're at 6. Name something bigger than a house, starting with the letter H. Well, Tree, you can learn a few of them here. Name something bigger than a house, starting with the letter H. Hurricane, I'm going to give it to you, Pocky. Pocky, you're at 7, tied with Josh at 7. Would not say a headache is bigger than a house. Name something you should not put in a microwave, starting with the letter M. Metal, that's a point for Javier. We have 4 minutes left. Name a way you can pass time, starting with the letter T. Pocky with TV. Pocky, you have 8 points. You're currently in the lead. Moving on to another round. All right, we're going to move on to Tribond. The first person to tell me what these 3 things have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. We're going to do 1 card of Tribond and move back to that one. First person to tell me what mint, cherry, and vanilla have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. Ice cream is not correct. Flavor is correct. That is a point for Javier. I mean, ice cream's not wrong, but it was not on the card. And I give the point for being on the card. Moving on to another round of Tribond. First person to tell me what steam, sail, and tug have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. Types of boats is correct. That is a point for Retro Frog. Moving on to another round of Tribond. The first person to tell me what these 3 things have in common, I'll get a point on the scoreboard. Stud, steed, stallion. Horse would be correct. That is a point for Retro. Moving on to the last round. Last round of Tribond. First person to tell me what engagement, boxing, and wedding have in common will get a point on the scoreboard. Engagement, boxing, wedding. Ring would be correct. That is a point for Retro. First person to name an this is justifiable thoughts. First person to name an unhealthy food, starting with the letter A, will get a point on the scoreboard. I guess unhealthy is kind of subjective, but Josh, animals definitely not accepted. I'm going to give it to apple pie. Tree, ants are eaten in some parts of the world, and they're considered like a lot of protein. So I'm going to give it to Pocky Rahu for apple pie. Apple pie, I don't think would ever be considered healthy. Well, I think more often than not, it's considered unhealthy. Retro, I have no clue what you said by Atlanta. M&H antifreeze would have definitely got you the point for saying antifreeze. Wow. Not quite a food, but sure is unhealthy. Wow. Name a food that is yellow. Last round. Name a food that is yellow, starting with the letter P. Eating acidity is very unhealthy. All right, Pocky, you got it with peach. Ooh, plantains are very good. I love plantains. Tree, you were a close second with plantains. I love plantains as a snack. You thought I said E. Oh, nope. All right, guys, that is time. Oh, Pocky, I didn't give you your point for peach. Amongst the I'm going to read the scores now. Amongst the champions. Oops. Sorry, I'm missing something. There we go. Amongst the former champions, we have Retro Frog. 51 points, Javier. 28 points. Dovid 2, M&H 11, Baronator 1. Plastic Fantastic 6, James M 4, Mike Tones 4. Before I read everybody else, I want you guys to know that this was a very close game. This was actually incredibly close. I am proud of everybody who fought for it. Logan Luke 1, Random Gamer 1. Ethan Clo 1. Tree, you had 5. Coming in third place was Tree with 5. Josh the Great coming in second with 7. And now that's the wrong one, sorry. To announce the new champion coming in first place with 10 points, who's been coming here for literally weeks. But finally made it. I'd like to announce the new champion, Pocky Rahu. Congratulations, Pocky. Congratulations. Yes, Pocky Rahu has popped in here and there for a while. Hey, Pocky, you made it, though. Congratulations, Pocky. And I also want to congratulate Josh and Tree. You guys were new players, but you still gave a good fight. One person enters every single stream. I love the sportsmanship. Good stuff, good stuff. Love the good sportsmanship. Pocky, you've been in so many times. I've had to check my documents to see if you were a champion yet a couple times. So it's good to see that you got your name up there. Congratulations. I'll be excited to write your name in as red next time you get on. All right, you guys have a good night. Josh and Tree and M&H, thank you guys for playing. I'll be doing a few streams tomorrow, a few streams Monday. This has been super fun. Thank you to everybody who's subscribed, and thank you to everybody as well who's donated. I'll be adding your guys' names to the Hall of Support. The Hall of Support is anybody who donates through Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, or if you buy my book, please let me know that you bought it, and I'll add your name to the Hall of Support. That's also much appreciated. Also, if you guys like any of the games you see, there's affiliate links in the description. That's a way you could support the channel at no extra cost to you. But I do get a commission, which is nice. And then you guys get to walk away with something too, which is cool. Guys, this has been super fun. I'm super excited for tomorrow's streams. Pocky Rahu, you just said it. You just called it the Hall of Shame. The Hall of Shame is everybody I've banned. That's not an official hall, but I do have a ban list of people I have had to ban. When you hear that sound, that means I banned somebody. Which that is an insider thing for anybody who's been in the stream for a while. They know that when they hear the sound of the toilet flush, I got somebody out of here. And I don't typically announce it anymore just because I don't want them to make a new channel and come back. So, Hall of Champs. Hall of Shame. Josh, I'm glad I came across this live. Thank you. Tree around the same times. I think tomorrow I might be starting a little bit earlier. I should be streaming around this time as well. It's 10 o'clock. Yeah, I should be streaming around this time as well. Maybe ending around this time for the night. I would like to do 3 or 4 tomorrow. I usually do a 2 hour. Well, the streams are always 2 hours long, and then an hour in between, and then another 2 hours, and then an hour in between, and another 2 hours. Once I start for the day, I am doing this until I'm done for the day. So it's 2 hours of streaming, 1 hour a break, 2 hours of streaming, 1 hour a break. I think tomorrow, if you guys, I make a post. If you check my community post, I will make a post with the date and time. I'm in Central Standard Time Zone right now. I'm outside of Chicago, so it's 10:02 p.m. for me right now. So the times I post are based off of my time zone, but I let you guys know the time zones and the date when I post, and I make the post every single day. Almost every day. I need to start posting to let you guys know when I'm not going to be doing a stream. I've been trying to get in that habit as well. It's 1 a.m. for you? Okay, so you're about 3 hours ahead. Yeah, I'll be doing it earlier tomorrow and Monday as well, so yeah, it's 10:02 p.m. for me. I'm in right outside of Chicago. What is the highest score? Javier Goatman currently holds the high score at 82 points. 82 points held by Javier Goatman. Which Retro Frog was getting up there. All right, Tree. I'll see you tomorrow. Hopefully. M and H, I'll see your whole posse tomorrow, hopefully, if that's what you guys are doing. We hear some fun games. I have a new game I'd like to maybe try tomorrow. We'll see. I didn't even open it yet, so I have to make sure, verify that it's good. You're glad I'm doing it earlier now since summer is over? Awesome. Pocky, what time is it for you? Oh, yeah, Retro. There's some... Is Kevin, welcome back. We're at the end of the stream right now. Is Kevin, we are at the end of the stream. We'll be streaming again tomorrow. But welcome back, Is Kevin. Have a good night. Thank you for playing. $11 p.m. Michigan, currently on a road trip. Yeah, Pocky, I will be doing some later shows, some earlier shows. I like to do them. I like to start early and then just go for the evening. Is Kevin 11:05 for you? It's 10:04 for me. This is the last show of the night. Tomorrow I should be doing 3 or 4, at least around 3 tomorrow. And then Monday I'll be doing around 3 as well. I'll have you guys know, typically Sundays and Mondays are the busiest days on the stream. That's why I do more than 2. I like to aim for 3 on Sundays and Mondays, so they can be very competitive. It can be very competitive. Pocky, yes. Yes, I will Pocky, but probably not until October. I will be selling that, but not until October. Kevin, have a good one. That will be coming out with some other games as well. The Justifiable Thoughts will be coming out in roughly sometime in October. It'll be published as in an interesting format, and I don't want to give too many spoilers away for that. But I'm glad everybody is liking Justifiable Thoughts. Pocky, you tutor kids English, so that would be a great game to play with them. Oh, wow, Pocky, then you're really going to like the format that I'm coming up with next. I'm keeping it a little bit of a surprise. That is really cool. You're really going to like it then. You are really going to like what I'm coming up with. I'm trying to get it ready by October 1st is kind of when I want this to be published with some other things. That's cool that you tutor English. I'm keeping it a slight surprise for now. Got to be careful of people, copycats and stuff. Although I'm technically copyrighted on a lot of things. All right, guys, this has been awesome. Pocky, that's really cool. I will, once I know when it's going to be published soon, I'll let you know when I see you in the chat. Otherwise, I hope to see you around again. You've been coming for a while. I hope to see you for a while more. All right, guys, I got to let you go for now. I got a lot of stuff to do. I got to get ready for tomorrow's long day, as well as just wrap it up. You guys have a good night. And thank you again for another fun game night.